In this video, I will present crosslingual generalization through multitask fine-tuning. This was a research project introducing BloomZ and MT0, which are two large language model families with up to 176 billion parameters that can solve a large variety of natural language tasks in tons of different languages. We also introduced XP3, which is the fine-tuning corpus that enabled this behavior. This was a really fun project with a lot of amazing teammates. The motivation for this work is that we have these large pre-trained models that have seen a large fraction of the internet. However, they cannot solve tasks as we'd like them to. For example, given the question, what is the capital of Japan? One of those models might just reply with another question, or anything really, because there's no guarantee that whenever this question appears on the internet, the text next to it is the answer. It could be anything really. And so when we instruction tune or multitask fine-tune models, we train them to solve a ton of different tasks and then expect them to correctly answer such a question. The second part is that we have these large multilingual models that have been pre-trained on a ton of languages. However, they've not been instruction tuned, which limits their usefulness. And so in this work, we set out to instruction tune MT5 and Bloom. The first step is creating a large corpus with a large variety of tasks and also languages. So we created XP3, which covers the tasks depicted. And there are several variants of XP3. There is also XP3MT and XP3X, which is an extension with many more languages and much more data. So now that we have this corpus created, we take a pre-trained large language model. In this work, we use Bloom and MT5, which are interesting to study because they have slightly different architectures and had a slightly different pre-training procedure. And then we fine-tune them on XP3 and the other variants. And then after fine-tuning, we evaluate them on tasks that they have not seen during fine-tuning in order to get a sense for their generalization. Specifically, we have three different task clusters held out for evaluation. And here's the performance on those. So we see that prior to multitask fine-tuning, the Bloom model performs pretty poorly. It's very close to the random baseline of 50, 33, and 50. However, after multitask fine-tuning, BloomZ is able to almost double the performance on some of these. And MT0 is even better, setting a few state-of-the-art results in terms of zero-shot performance on these multilingual tasks. Here's an example of how this looks like in practice. So for example, given the question, why is the sky blue? And we can even ask it to answer in a specific language, Latin American Spanish. We get this answer from BloomZ. And on the right-hand side, we also ask BloomZ to translate something for us. And it does so. So here it involves three different languages. It's quite cross-lingual. So the instruction is in English, and then we have a different input and a different output language. We also find that models are capable of generalizing to unseen languages. With unseen, I mean that these are languages that the model has not been intentionally pre-trained nor fine-tuned on. So for example, for Bulgarian, BloomZ performs quite well, much better than Bloom, which was not multitask fine-tuned. And the same happens for German, Russian, Turkish, and all the other languages depicted here. And this is very intriguing because the model has not been intentionally trained on these languages, and also not on these tasks. So these are also unseen tasks. So it does two generalizations at the same time. Here's an example of how this looks like in practice. So we give it a coreference resolution task in Japanese, and the model correctly solves it, which is, again, very surprising that this model is capable of this kind of generalization. So I invite you to check out the paper if you're interested in a deeper analysis on why this phenomenon might occur, and other details on the other dataset variations, generative tasks, and language contamination, and so on. Again, this was a really cool project with lots of amazing people. And yeah, I invite you to check it out if you're interested. Thanks.